Tony Khan reportedly believes that the CM Punk Jack Perry footage is the key to getting a new TV deal with Warner Bros. Discovery, and we're going to talk about it. All right, so I don't know why the hell this is even... I feel like Tony Khan should be smarter than this, but at least according to his good old friend Dave Meltzer, there was this episode of Wrestling Observer Radio. Dave Meltzer was talking about this in conversation about some of the biggest wrestling stories in 2024. And Dave was asked whether or not if Tony Khan thought about having second thoughts airing the footage between CM Punk and Jack Perry. Now, what was really crazy is Dave Meltzer actually goes into this a little bit deeper. And for those who don't know, Dave Meltzer and Tony Khan, it's like a well-known thing that they've texted before. Like they actually talk with each other. They're relatively close. That's why a lot of people on the internet make the joke that Tony Khan books for Dave Meltzer. But Dave actually provided a little bit of insight on this. And he says, I have discussed this with him. You have no idea how much. And it's always the same thing, that he believes that that was actually a key to getting that new TV deal. So I will tell you, I mean, in every discussion, there is not even a thought in Tony Khan's mind that he made a mistake there. Meltzer then goes on to talk about the rationale there. And he says, if it helped making the deal, then he's right. However, Dave also expressed his own reservations to this, and he says, certainly I didn't think long term it was the right thing, even though yes, it did help make Jack Perry a star. I just didn't think it was positive for the company in the big picture. Now, here is the thing that we're going to be discussing here, because one, I think Dave is wrong. I don't think Jack Perry has truly walked out as a big star with this angle. Yes, Jack Perry did become a heel, and I do think Jack Perry's heel character, as much as I didn't like it in the beginning, I do think it works. I wouldn't go as far as calling Jack Perry a big star, because he hasn't really been presented as such, even on AEW programming. So yeah, I mean, let's just call it what it is. Jack Perry isn't a star by any means. I don't think Jack Perry has elevated to the top of the card by any means. I don't think Jack Perry's going to be in the conversation for world champion anytime soon by any means. So I flat out just simply disagree with that statement. However, what I think is even more laughable than that is the fact that Tony Khan actually believes that Jack Perry was a key to getting AEW's TV renewal. I would really like to think that's wrong. I would really like to think and hope that Tony Khan doesn't actually believe that one angle is responsible for them getting a new TV deal. And listen, obviously we're not part of those conversations behind the scenes. I know we were not there listening to those negotiations between Warner Bros. And AEW, but as somebody who watches pro wrestling and analyzes pro wrestling, I just want to be very clear. If that one thing was the reason why AEW got a new TV deal, then I'm going to start questioning the executives at Warner Bros. Discovery. And honestly, I think that's rightfully so. Look, guys, the proof is in the numbers. I feel like AEW since then has never been the same. You guys can call it whatever you want. I really don't care. The truth is AEW is like consistently underperforming compared to where they once were. So ultimately, I don't see how this benefited AEW in the slightest. There's nobody that's going to be able to argue this. It did not benefit AEW in the slightest. The whole situation with CM Punk honestly made AEW look dumb, and it also alienated a major part of their audience. Hence why people stopped watching AEW. You lost Cody Rhodes. It was a big blow to the company, but you were able to navigate through that. You lose CM Punk. Now your show, your flagship show, does 500,000 to 600,000 viewers. NXT's outperforming it. I mean, yeah, like, does anybody not see the issue there? I think obviously CM Punk was a very big asset to AEW, and You know, it's the end of 2024. We're going into 2025, and you would think that maybe AEW can move past this, but the reality is you can't. It left a big stink in the company. It definitely, you know, I talk about perception as reality a lot, and I think when AEW actually aired that footage, they did it to pop a rating, which congratulations to them. That show drew 18. They drew 819,000 viewers. Over 880,000 people watched that segment live. What have they done since? So I think that was a thing where, you know, Dave is right. I think in the big picture, it definitely hurt them. It definitely made them little league. And if Warner Bros. Discovery thought that was a cool thing for the company and that was a reason to go and give them a new TV deal worth $185 million, then that company should be very, very thankful to CM Punk, because obviously since then, the company has had zero momentum in its favor. Just to be very clear, I think there's a lot of things to be excited about with AEW going into 2025. However, my personal subjective opinions on certain storylines or certain wrestling programs that I like, that doesn't change the fact that the numbers and the attendance and everything significantly dropped after the fact. And I understand that there's going to be a lot of people. I know how it works in these YouTube comments. I'm very aware of this. But you guys will make these kind of comments without realizing what I'm actually saying here. What happened with CM Punk and Jack Perry, it doesn't require any sort of take to justify it. You could say you liked it. You could say you disliked it. That doesn't matter here. And the reason why that doesn't actually matter here is because the company had a significant drop off of momentum since then. And to recover, which I think is 100% possible, to recover, you got to produce great content. So if Warner Bros. Discovery was more worried about that than the actual content that AEW is producing, I think that's a very big problem with Warner Bros. Discovery. You know, that's just the way I see it. And it's sad that I'm sad this is a thing where people are talking about it more than the actual product itself. But the reality is it's probably going to be talked about forever, because unless AEW really significantly gets some momentum, people are never going to look past that moment. And if AEW really got that new TV deal because of that, that's insane. That's insane. But it is what it is, man. Look at those numbers. Those numbers, the attendance, everything. I mean, everything dropped. We're not talking about anything different here. Like we're like this company. It's not like Jack Perry became world champion and the company went to new heights. At most, Jack Perry became a TNT champion, and the company has seen a significant drop off in viewership and attendance. So, not really sure why Tony Khan believes it was a good idea.